All right, Major. I'll brief you on what we have so far on the scene and kind of where we started and where we are right now. About 12:35 a.m., officer received a call here to 845 Brookwood to this apartment complex in reference to some sort of disturbance. There were several calls coming in from citizens, and the calls were shots being fired in the courtyard area. Received maybe, I think, as many as 4 or 5 different calls in reference to that. They were supposed to, when the officers were on their way to the call, there were supposed to be several subjects in the courtyard area. So officers parked on the east side of the complex. Officer Smith and Johnson started working their way through the courtyard, or in between the buildings, to the courtyard area. Once they got to the courtyard area, they found 2 suspects armed, standing over a victim who was on the ground. The one suspect, immediately after being confronted by the officers with verbal commands, he fled north from the scene. The second suspect decided to engage in a gunfight with officers. He was shot. He has been transported with several gunshot wounds to OU Hospital, where he's being treated. There is an officer with him there now. The victim was transported to Southwest Medical Center, where he's being treated for no gunshot wounds. But he did have some cuts in reference to, looked like probably from the assault. He did have some cuts on his forehead and to his hands. So he's being treated for minor injuries, and he's been transported to Southwest Medical, and there's an officer with him also. No officers were injured. The officers are on the far west side of the complex. They're sitting with 2 other supervisors on scene. They're fine. They're not injured. The second subject that ran, we have set up a perimeter. It's about a 4-block perimeter. I feel like we've got it pretty well locked down. Everyone's helping us contain the perimeter from the air. K3 should be on scene any minute to start a ground search for the second suspect. Assaults has been notified. Detectives should be here any minute. They probably notified them probably about 20-30 minutes ago. So hopefully they'll be here shortly to start working on the scene. We did have channels 9 and 4 already on scene. They had them stage and wait for the PIO about the 9800 block of Southwestern. They're at the 7-Eleven there in the staging area. PIO has been called. He's on his way. He's aware of the location of where the media is being staged, so he should go directly there. I think, see if there's anything I missed. Waiting on a call still from for a condition on the suspect. As soon as I get that information, I'll get back to you and keep you and the detectives up to date on the condition of the suspect. Watch commander obviously has been notified. He's on scene as well. I think that Captain Anderson, and he is over there with the officer at this time. I think that's about where we are right now. Do you have any questions?